And then the third thing is to say, okay, so first of all, we've acknowledged the inner voices. We know what they are. We know what they say. We know the dialogue. And it may be different for you. For me, it's things like, oh my goodness, look at you at that angle. Oh, and oh, the double chin, or the, oh, I'm noticing my eyes are not quite as, this like they used to be. Or there's a whole bunch of things that go on in my mind. So know what your dialogue is. And then determine what is real and what is true and what is not. What are the lies that your inner voices are telling you? And these can be things that are very hard to actually see clearly. So I'll give you an example. This is a real life example. I had a client come to me one time. She was a lovely person, and she was really struggling with a very dominant, very opinionated mother. And so she had that criticism going in her inner dialogue all the time. So I remember we were discussing colors and what colors she wanted to wear and what colors looked really good on her. And she had just dyed her hair like a reddish color. And so I thought, these colors of green are going to be stunning on her complexion. It's going to lighten her complexion. It's going to make her hair color stand out. It's going to look beautiful. Well, let me tell you, she was absolutely adamant that she couldn't wear green. I mean, like, no, I cannot wear green, which is quite a statement because actually you can wear any color. It's just the shade of color that you need to get. So everybody can wear a green, but you have to find the right shade of green, right? But she was adamant she can't wear green. So as I was discussing this with her, I was saying, okay, so what makes you think that? Because especially you've got this great hair color and it works with your hair color. No, her mother used to tell her when she was younger that she couldn't wear green. So therefore, even as an adult, and I mean, she was like in her 30s, she had this idea in her head that she couldn't wear green, even though her current reality was that it looked amazing on her. But she couldn't get beyond it, see? So it didn't really matter what I said to her. All that mattered was that this was the internal voice, and this was absolutely in her mind her truth. But it wasn't true. This is just the thing. It was not true. And so I think what's really important is to acknowledge that we have these voices inside of our head that tell us all the things. And I think especially those of us who are in our, 40s, 50s, 60s and beyond, when there were more fashion rules for us, I feel like these days almost anything goes. But there often are these things like, oh, you can't wear red with pink. And, oh, women who are short can't wear this. And, oh, if you have big boobs, you can't wear that. I mean, there were all these rules and things that we had to follow, right? So revisit them. Write them down if you need to. Listen, girlfriend, if they're getting in the way of you rocking a confident look that you want to rock and you want to wear it and you want to feel good about yourself, it's worth taking a bit of time to write those things down. So write them down and then really analyze them. And you know what? If you need help, ask a very trusted friend. And ask her. So this friend, this client of mine, she could ask a friend. Now she had hired me, so I could tell her. And it was a process for her, by the way. She didn't wear green straight away. She still believes she can wear green. But I kind of said, well, let's give it a try. And then she decided to give it a try. And although she still felt uncomfortable about it, she was in that process of reprogramming, right? Replacing the lie with the truth. I cannot wear green. Absolutely categorically. I look great in green. So ask a friend. Put something green on if that's your thing. Or put on something, but a trusted friend. Somebody you feel really safe with. Does this suit me? Does this look good on me? And let me say to you, girlfriend, no woman, and I mean no woman, can wear everything and anything and look fabulous. You can wear anything and everything. absolutely can. I'm a great believer in that. But does it look fabulous? That's another thing. So I feel like it's about determining what are the things that are lies that we've believed, that we've just gotten so used to hearing that we take them for the truth. And then what is the actual truth? And start to determine that. Also, our bodies change as we get older. Our skin tone changes, our hair color changes. So sometimes the things that we were absolutely dead set against are going to work really well now. And some things that we thought absolutely going to work for us don't work anymore. And so I think it's really important for us to revisit this internal dialogue, to be aware of it and where it's at for us. I am finding, so I'm on QVC again, and I'm definitely finding I'm having to watch my internal dialogue, because I do have to watch my replays, because I need to see where can I do better, how can I better represent the brand, where did I miss maybe a cue that the host was giving me, how can I dress in a way that really makes sure that it represents the brand in a positive and good way, but still represents who I am. Does it work both ways? Do outfits that look good in the mirror when I'm at home look great on camera? Different things, two different things. So I'm having to really be kind to myself in that. And I'll be honest and tell you, like, there was a dress that I wore on set, and I thought that everything that I was wearing on underneath it was fine and that it wouldn't show too much. And when I saw in the replay, I noticed that what I was wearing on underneath looked a little too close to my skin color. And it probably wasn't the best choice, because it had these like little slit things, and I thought it wasn't showing anything, and it showed a little too much leg than I would have liked if I had realized that, right? So then the Gertrudes go crazy and they start on this internal dialogue. So it's okay to get things wrong. It's okay to say, oh, hey, that didn't work. Let me try something else. You know, you're not going to die, right? And so unless you're also on national television and you need to be critical about yourself, try things and let yourself play. And when those internal voices come up, which they're going to, acknowledge them, give them a name, give her a name, girlfriends. It really does help. Number 3, determine what is truth and what is a lie. Then the lies you need to replace with truth. You can't just say, oh, I'm not going to buy into that anymore and move on, because you've already created those pathways in your brain. That's what it's going to think. And your brain thinks it's truth even though it isn't. So when it comes up, so like, let's say your internal dialogue says, oh, I'm too fat to wear that, right? Typical one, don't we? Or like, oh, that dress makes my stomach look bigger. And actually it doesn't. It's just that you're looking down at your tummy like this, and no one's actually noticing your tummy because you've checked and you've asked a friend, or you've spoken to somebody, you know, you've really looked at it critically. So then you can say, thanks so much for sharing. This is what I do, okay, seriously. So when Gertrude comes and she starts like in my head, thanks so much for sharing. Go to your room and play. Seriously. I send her off to her room so that she can play by herself without me. And so I'm acknowledging it. And what I do then is it's okay. Actually, that isn't true. What is true for me is, this is the look I really love. This is the look that makes me feel confident. And even if you don't feel it just quite yet, it's okay. And speak in the positive. Does that make sense? So you can't just go, oh yeah, that's not true, and then just move on with your day. You actually have to replace it with something that you want. And the thing is, girls, that we are in a stage of our lives as women over 40, 50, 60 and beyond that few generations have had, right? Like, I actually went to a talk the other night, and the scientist was talking about aging and ageism. And she was saying, you know, for the first time ever, we have created this extra era of our life with modern science, with healthcare, with all of that kind of thing. but we haven't created the social constructs to help us live this life fully. This extra section. The life expectancy of Americans used to be 47, I think, or 48, she said. Quite amazing. Now we're just getting started at that age. So we have like this whole other part of us to live, but we have to choose to live it. We can choose to live it and embrace it. We don't have to just take the internal stuff that's been said. And listen, there's a lot of fear around stuff. There's a lot of shame around aging in our society, but we don't have to buy into it. And so this helps me a lot